Now, if you know anything about Omega, you'll know that there are countless models and varieties to choose from. Frankly, the catalog can be a little bit intimidating to someone just starting out, so hopefully during this video, we can give you a little bit more insight into each of the Seamaster models so that you can decide which is right for your wrist. When we look at the selection, we have a few categories to think about. Currently in the lineup, we have the Seamaster 300 Diver, better known as the Bond Watch. Then we have the Planet Ocean line, the Aqua Terra, heritage models, and of course the brand new and highly anticipated Ultra Deep. Yes, this is a lot of options, but let's break them down one by one. Let's start with the most popular variant, the Seamaster 300 Diver. This unique K-shape debuted in the 1990s and quickly became a signature look for Omega. Those instantly recognizable twisted lugs, the scalloped bezel, and of course the iconic wave dial have kind of become a staple in the watch world. Coming in at $5,600 on the bracelet and $5,300 on the rubber strap, this watch represents a lot of people's jumping off point in the world of watches. Realistically, in the $5,000 category, these watches are some of, if not the best value per dollar. This is actually a watch that I own myself. I have the blue dial version of it and love wearing it. Now, some of the basic specs on this watch are the stainless steel 42mm case, sapphire crystals on the front and the back, ceramic bezel, and a dial that of course has a generous helping of superluminova. Obviously, this watch is a diver, so naturally it has 300 meters water resistance. As we mentioned before, this watch became a pop cultural icon during the Pierce Brosnan Bond era due to its appearance in movies like GoldenEye and Die Another Day, two of my personal favorites. This watch comes in a number of different colors and is a rock-solid choice for anyone looking for a daily driver. Inside the watch, we have the coaxial caliber 8800, which is an automatic winding movement that is METAS certified. For those of you who don't know, METAS is a program created by Omega to test the durability and accuracy of their timepieces. This multi-day testing process ensures that everything meets Omega's rigorous standards. The watch is also extremely resistant to magnetism due to its silicone hairspring. In fact, if you look at all the specs on this watch, it beats out a lot of the competitors that sit at a much higher price point. Out of all of the Seamasters, the 300 represents one of the most capable and versatile models you can choose from. While this watch is not a thin dress watch, it does come in at 13.6mm. I also don't think it's too thick. I think it's a great size for a sports watch. The person that this watch is perfect for is someone that appreciates the 90s futuristic look and really just wants a durable, everyday diver that can be worn without worry. Moving on to our second model, the Aqua Terra. This Seamaster is unlike the others, mainly in the way that it doesn't have a rotating bezel, similar to the Seamasters from the past. The watch comes in 41 and 38mm with a very wide array of dial, case, and strap configurations. Now you'll notice that this one is a little bit more elegant, dressy take on the classic sports watch, and I think that that's why the Aqua Terra is so successful, because it kind of skirts that line between a watch that you could easily wear with a suit and tie, but also pair with a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, which is something that can't necessarily be said for a lot of the other watches on the table. For me, the Aqua Terra represents that perfect balance between sporty and dressy, and it really is the perfect watch for the person who can't make up their mind, or for those looking to have that one watch collection. I'll also say that the Aqua Terra makes a great gift because it's a timeless watch that just about anyone can pull off. MSRP on these in 41mm is $5,900, so pretty much the exact same price as the Diver 300 we just looked at. It really just comes down to which one you relate to more. Looking to the case of this watch, we see the use of those trademark twisted lugs again, which are done in an alternating brushed and high polished steel. The bracelet on this watch is the basic 3-link construction with brushed outer links and polished center links, which lends itself to that little more dressy feel. Keep in mind that those polished center links scratch pretty easy, so you might have to be a little bit more careful with this watch than some of the more rugged options like the Diver 300. But make no mistake, this watch is extremely durable and water resistant to up to 150 meters. Now, if you like the Aqua Terra, you are in luck because there are about 1.5 million variants out there on the market in all kinds of metals, colors, and sizes. So you can really pick that perfect watch that speaks just to you. Now on to our third model. This is the Heritage Diver. This obviously vintage-inspired model takes a totally different approach than what the first two watches we have gone over here today does. As you can see, this model clearly draws inspiration from past Seamasters like the ones that were originally released in the 1950s. Omega has even gone so far to add photina, which is when manufacturers use colors that evoke a vintage or aged look to the lume. Now this look might not be for everyone, but it's perfect for the collector that's into vintage watches but doesn't want to deal with vintage watch problems. Now the steel version comes in at $6,700 on a bracelet and $64 on a strap. This model is slightly higher priced than the first two, but still offers some of the best value when compared to other divers in this category. This watch features a 41mm case, aluminum bezel, and a sapphire crystal on the front and the back, as we've come to expect. Inside the watch we have the Omega Caliber 8912, which is a Metos certified chronometer that is anti-magnetic up to 1500 Gauss. So really this watch is like a vintage Porsche with a modern engine. All of the benefits of a vintage watch in terms of the aesthetics with the peace of mind of modern movement. Kind of the best of both worlds in my opinion. Now this watch is available in steel, gold, and something very special that Omega calls bronze gold, which is a proprietary alloy designed to prevent fading or tarnishing. So if you really like the look of the bronze watch trend, but don't want to deal with the patina that comes with it, this might be a watch you'd consider looking into. So if you're looking for something a little bit more subtle and classic, then I would say that the heritage models are definitely worth taking a look at. Now it's time to get into the big boys. Starting with the smaller of the two brothers is the standard Omega Planet Ocean. This watch is available in a range of sizes from 45.5mm down to a more reasonable 37.5. This is absolutely by no means a small watch. This is for the person who appreciates and loves wearing large watches that have a significant presence on the wrist. Now the Planet Ocean is one of the most technically advanced divers on the market, featuring a ceramic bezel filled with liquid metal technology, a ceramic dial, and a helium escape valve. The watch is rated for a whopping 600 meters of water resistance, and it definitely shows in the case design. To me, the Planet Ocean is the perfect summer watch or adventure watch, a watch that can truly stand up to the elements and still look good while doing it. Inside the Planet Ocean, we have the Caliber 8900, which is actually the exact same movement used in the previously mentioned Aqua Terra line. Because of its size and how proud it sits on the wrist, the Planet Ocean, in my opinion, is definitely a watch that is worth trying on before buying, so keep that in mind before you think about picking one up. Now, the last model that we're going to be reviewing today is actually still technically a part of the Planet Ocean family. We're of course talking about the new behemoth released last year, the Planet Ocean Ultra Deep. Just on first impression, you can tell even in a video that this watch is not messing around. Its massive 45.5mm case is a whopping 18.1mm thick, making the feel of this watch more like a dive computer than a dive watch. However, this watch is big for a reason. It's depth rated for up to 6,000, that's right, 6,000, not 600 meters of water resistance. You may remember that the standard Planet Ocean can only go down to a measly 600 meters, which doesn't seem like a lot when you compare it to this. That's 10 times the water resistance that this will achieve without the use of a helium escape valve. If you're anything like me, then you're probably not even going to go 6 meters underwater, but it's certainly cool to know that it's capable of doing something so incredible. Inside the watch we have the familiar Caliber 8912, the exact same one found in the Heritage Diver models. The Ultra Deep is available in stainless steel or in grade 5 titanium, and interestingly has several different dial colors to pick from for such a specific watch. MSRP on the steel variant is $12,000 on the bracelet and $11,700 on a strap. The titanium variant is not available on a bracelet and goes for $12,900 on a NATO. Throwing this monster on the wrist, you're going to notice that it actually appears to wear smaller than the standard Planet Ocean. This is due to the trick of the dial size. The Ultra Deep has a much thicker bezel, which in turn makes the dial smaller, and therefore it wears as such. When I first saw the press images of this watch, I definitely was expecting something completely ridiculous and totally unwearable. However, now that I've spent some time with the watch, I have to say that it's surprisingly comfortable for a watch this size, even on my smaller wrist. But for the Arnold Schwarzeneggers of the world, this might be a really cool watch to add to your collection. Really quick, I would love to say a big thank you to all of our 5,000 subscribers. We've had an absolute blast over the last 2 years making content for you guys and are thankful for each one of you. If you haven't already subscribed, then please remember to hit that comment and subscribe button to stay up to date on all of our latest content. So now that we've gone over all of the different variants of the current Seamaster lineup, I think it's safe to say that there's got to be something here for everyone. As always, we encourage you to come by our shop here in Boston and try on all the models that we mentioned here today, as we are the official retailer for Omega in the Boston area. Well, that's all for today's video. Again, I'm Jack Tyler, your host, and thanks for spending a little time with us here today.